Hey YouTube, I'm going to do a campground review of Rockrun. This is an extended parking lot, by the way, that we're in, and we are coming into the park like we are already in the park. So the Welcome Center is on the right. So basically you come up the hill that's in front of me and you make a left where I'm going to turn in at. And this is where the Welcome Center is. At the Welcome Center, you go in there, you check in, they give you a camping pass, you pay for any kind of off-roading you need to do, and this is where you park with your trailer and everything and do all that. Then you would go up here to that extended parking lot that you can see in front of me, and from there you would typically meet a UTV or like a side-by-side, and the side-by-side will escort you to your campsite. So here I am being escorted to the Clayworks campground, and I'll show you like how they all interconnect probably closer to the end of the video when we do a driving tour. So this is their newest campground. They do not have a dump site anywhere in the whole campground, like at all. Like there's not anywhere to dump. As far as I know, there's no water available in the park. I could be wrong, but I don't think that there is. So make sure you bring water and make sure you figure out where you're going to dump at. So this is the newest one, and what is so special about this particular campground is the fact that they have power. And the other thing I want to point out is the service for like Verizon and AT&T and stuff. It sucks at the bottom of this hill, and it's best like at the very top of the hill. So site like number 1, 2, 3 would have the best service, and then the sites like say 7, 8, 9 might have like close to no service. So if you need internet for whatever reason or phone service, you want to be on my left or like up the hill where we came in at. So I'm gonna do a little walking tour.
Hey YouTube, so I'm going to do a little tour of the Clayworks campground, and so this behind me is my campsite. I am in campsite number 6, and you can see like right here down the street, pause for a second so I can spin around, that it's just straight through, and they're all pull-throughs, and it's just like one line of pull-throughs and then another line of pull-throughs and so on. And the group site down there that looks humongous is actually pretty narrow. It's just humongous because there's all this like green space between the campers. So the little map is not really representative of the amount of space you get. It's representative of the whole area with all the green space. You can kind of see the width of the site with the Jeep there. Easily, you can fit like a fifth wheel in there. But if you notice, I have a very small trailer. And with the slide out, like there's only certain spots where the slide can actually, or with a canopy out, there's only certain spots where the canopy can actually go all the way out. So if I had slides and the canopy, the site really wouldn't be wide enough for all this. So you can fit in here and you can get your slides out and stuff, and it's very, very generous on the length side of things. It's not as generous on the width. But I think it's generous enough. What's really nice though is you're not like right next to the camper. A lot of these places they line these campers up so close together that like your awning is like almost touching their awning, and that's not the case. I think that pretty much any rig could fit lengthwise, like in here. Like you can see. There's some huge trucks here and side-by-sides and everything. But the width is kind of narrow on certain spots. If you look closely, like at my tire on the truck, you'll notice that we have it up on a spacer. So it looks level, but it's not level. If you look around, like almost everybody has their wheels off the ground, either the side ones or the front ones. They could have done a little bit of a better job on balancing, leveling the campground. It's pretty level. Like I'm not going to complain too much because I've been far worse. But it's not like a K-way where you pull onto a concrete pad and like it's like 100% perfectly level. Mostly side-by-sides, but this is a side-by-side park obviously. But maybe that's just when we're here. The Jeeps are here obviously because of the event that we're hosting. And the event that we're hosting is this rock crawling event, SLRC and X-Rock. There's a momentum, and that will give you a good idea. Look how big that is, the momentum with the and the site is still just it just continues, and he's not even hooked up. I mean, like, he could put the truck behind the thing or in front of the thing. It all fits. There's a really awesome picnic table and a picnic fire ring. Everybody has these really, really nice fire rings. Let's walk up this way. I also have a driving tour that I'll like maybe throw at the end, where we drove around the campground. The campground is only electricity. There's no water, there's no dump station, and there's no like hookup. And as far as I know, when I say there's no dump station, there's like no dump station anywhere. So, you know, you can go to another park nearby if you have to dump and, you know, spend the 10 or 20 bucks, or maybe find like a Flying J in the area. I don't know if there is one or not. So they're hooking up, like they're getting ready to leave, it looks like, because they have their like lights all flashing and everything. And there's a fuel, that'll give you an idea. Fully hooked up, fifth wheel, toy hauler, looks like 50 feet or 45 feet. And you can still park a truck behind them. They're hooked up, it looks like they're probably getting ready to leave. Same thing. There's a motorhome. How are you? Another fifth wheel. Another fifth wheel. Just very generous sites. And look at that nice green space between them. The only negative thing, like I was saying, is you have to be really strategic about making sure that you don't end up with a tree like next to one of the slides with the awnings. That first one is really nice. That one there, we're still figuring that one is. That's site 9 on my right. That's the second one on the first loop. So that's probably site number 2. Because it has a shade, but it doesn't have all the trees like up next to it. So like this site, the first site, look at that. I think this site's twice as wide as my site. So this would be like the perfect optimal site, like to me, size-wise. You have the length and you have the width, and you still have your little private area for the picnic area. And I mean, this is like amazingly awesome. Like, so this site probably looks like, to me, like it's almost like perfectly where they ended up, and they're going out the wrong way. So that's fine. So this is site number 1. It's awesome. And here's site number 2. So there is a slight little variation on these sites on width. Site number 3 looks really great. It's not as wide as the first site, but look, I mean, they knocked the trees down enough that, like, you know, you're not going to have any awning problems like on site number 3. So I guess my statement on that, well, okay, so on site number 4 you can see the first half of it is pretty wide because there's no tree here, there's no tree there. But once you get past the power box, there's trees on both sides. Site number 5 is really generous. So maybe it's just my site. Like, maybe I'm being a little bit too like critical. Maybe it's just my site that has this. I mean, you can see that everybody had to level up a little bit. And I do appreciate. I mean, they did do a really good job of like making it like at least flat, like side to side, mostly. And you know, you're not like in like the woods or anything. But my side, I mean, there's just like a lot of trees. But this next one is number 7. There with us. It's super wide. I guess I just picked the narrowest site. That's what it looks like. Team 871. That's Jason Staples' buggy. He's with us. And then down there, this is the group site, I think. And when you look at it on the map, it looks humongous. Like, but you can't really tell like how usable it is. So really, you know, look at all the greenness there. It's not really humongous. It's really just more of like it's private. So, and there's the exit right there to leave, and the other side of the loop is almost exactly the same. Sites 1 through 16.
Hey Jeeps, now we're gonna do a driving tour of the other sites, so you can see the other campgrounds. So once again, this is the Clayworks that we're currently leaving. So you go straight up this road here, and to the right would be the extended parking and the showers and everything and the welcome center. And then basically to the left is all the rest of the campgrounds. And I'll put a map in the corner so you can see like kind of like how they all interconnect. And there'll be a better shot of the showers on the right. And I have sped it up. So not to be confused, on the left here is the pines, which is where we're in right now. And then in the far distance, what you can see if you kind of look out, those camping spots there, is the Sattleback Campground. So the Saddleback and the pines are basically pretty similar. They're just kind of side by side. It's a big grassy green area with like the little orange markers that you see on the ground in front of me are the markers for the different campsites. And this is it. So you just pull your trailer or your truck or whatever it is out here into this big kind of field and next to your marker, and you set up. There's no power or water hookups or anything, that kind of stuff. And this is it. And like I said, in the distance you can see that road on the right with all those like little lines. That's the Saddleback. Where we are now is the pines. The Saddleback is much larger than the pines, but you can see Jason's truck camper there on the left. I think he was one of the only people camping in the pines. So now we're going to continue. So that road in front of me goes to the Welcome Center, but we're going to turn to the left. And turning to the left, this will take us into the park a little bit. And the next campground we're going to go to is Locust Grove. The Locust Grove campground looks a little bit more like a traditional, like national park campground, sort of. So this is an entrance to it right here, and I slowed down so you guys can actually see it. On the right is Jason Staples, and where his buggy is. We'll kind of spin around and you'll see it, but this right here would be a campsite on our right, and that is campsite number 2. There's a campsite on our left. And like I said, these are just areas to camp. There's no electricity back here, there's no water back here, none of that. So people are probably running generators if they want power, or running off batteries. But this is other camping opportunity you have. This is Locust Grove, like I was saying. And you can see these are very generous campsites. And they're all kind of staggered out a little bit, kind of like national parks. Or at least the national parks I've camped in. This isn't like one of those campgrounds where it's just like all the awnings are touching each other. The white truck up there, or van, I'm sorry, with the trailer is Jason Staples' buggy. And like, yeah, that is his campsite, and it is humongous. That might actually be 2 campsites next to each other because I see another stake there. But still, it's like humongous. I mean, next to regular campgrounds, I mean, you can fit all kinds of stuff in there. And they do have these porta potties you can see that are strategically placed all over the whole campsite area. The next one that we're going to head over to is a Red Oak camping area. And Red Oak is very similar to Locust Grove. It just like bigger. And basically you can see the area in front of me. This is the beginning of the campground. There's a porta potty right there. So all around me, these are all campsites, and you're going to see stakes in different spots that represent which campsite is which. And like I said, I stayed in the other campground. I didn't stay here, so I can't really give you any direct feedback about what it's like to stay here. But you can see there's another porta potty over there, and then you can see all these stakes, and the stakes indicate which campsite is which. And you can look at a map or something if you want to actually try to figure out which one's which, and try to pick a side if this is where you plan on camping. Personally, I really like the one that I stayed in. I think I was really lucky for my selection. Like I was saying, this is a Red Oak camping area or campsite, and it is part of the Rockrun recreation area. And I don't know, like the one I just passed, if you're supposed to park parallel maybe there, but here you can see there's spots where it actually goes in. Now the other thing to note is I don't see any like picnic tables anywhere. I don't see, there's a fire ring. That one has a fire ring at least. But it's an old traditional kind of fire ring. It's not like one of the big kind of fancy concrete ones like they had in Clayworks. So I'm really pleased with Clayworks. Like that was a really nice experience, and I really liked the Clayworks one. But obviously, that one is significantly smaller than these. So if you're putting on a large event like with a lot of people and you want to be with all your friends, most likely you're going to want to camp in one of these larger ones with your friends. I'm going to speed up the video a little bit. You can see that all these campgrounds are kind of separated out, and right there, that is actually the entrance to a trail, and we have a side-by-side video of us on that trail that we'll post at some point. I don't know when, because now I have so many videos and they're a little bit out of order, and I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to see their video in their Jeep and everything. So anyway, back to the main road right here. This will get us back up toward the Welcome Center. So if we just go straight here, we'll hit the Welcome Center, and then we'll have that right turn that will take us to either the Pines or Sattleback or Clayworks. But what I want to show you here is this building. So there's a parking lot over here that we're about to pull into. The building on the left has this amazing shower facility. You go into this one room, you give it tokens or whatever, and then there's a second room that has like a shower in there, and everybody was saying it was like really awesome and fantastic. But obviously, I mean, if you're out in side-by-sides and ATVs, showers are actually really appreciated. So I'm just gonna basically run back to our campsite, and please, like and subscribe. We are trying to build up our sub count as much as possible to get to 1,000 subs. Thanks.